Hi guys, John with you again, and we're back with the Sherman from ZVEZDA. Okay, just another quick look here at the version that I am doing. Okay, this would be it here, Caesar number 40. Okay, it was the M4A2 Sherman number C40 Caesar, 2nd Tank Battalion, US Marine Corps, Tinian on the Mariana Islands in 1944. Okay, so that's what I'm going for. The last time you saw it, now I had the underside done. Fitted the top on, masked off all the previous work that I've done because I don't want to get any paint on that. And now we're on to the superstructure and the turret. Okay, so what I've done, I'm after giving it a coat of NATO black, as you can see, and I'm after also using the highlights in white. Okay, XF2 is what I used for them. Okay, that's the black and white technique, as I've learnt from Andy's hobby headquarters. Okay, that's the shop there in I think he's in Austin, Texas, or one of those places. He's in America anyway. Great chap. He does some absolutely fucking fabulous videos. We all know him. I don't think there's a modeler now that is on my channel that has not heard of him. He does some absolutely fabulous reviews, and you can get some great hints and tips off him. And this is one that I got off him. It's the sort of the pre-shading, black and white technique, pre-shading. Okay, it's where you basically cover it in NATO black and use XF2 flat white and highlight some of the panels and things. Now, one thing I have noticed about Tamiya's XF2 is it's very spitty. Okay, it's the only of the Tamiya paints that I've ever had any problems with, and it's the same problem every time. And I won't even call it a problem, it's just whatever it is, whatever's different about XF2, it tends to sort of to spit. So you get lots of kind of overspray. So unless you paint the whole thing, say, in the flat white colour, if you're going for, say, the highlighting thing, you're going to get a bit of spitting in it. But because you're going to cover it all with the green for a finish, it doesn't really matter. It actually kind of might even help in one or two places, to be quite honest with you. But if I wanted to, say, do a panel in white and I was using my airbrush, I'd have to mask off everything around it and then use it, because it's mental for overspray. But apart from that, I've had no problems really. Next thing for this now is the green. Now for the green for this, I'm going to use Tamiya's NATO green. Okay, which is it's dark green. I'll find out now what NATO green is, because I have it here. XF67. Okay, XF67 NATO green. I like using NATO green for military vehicles that have any basic shade of green on them, apart from anything that would be olive drab, because it's kind of it's a darker colour, much darker. Well, it's not really kind of a green based type colour, it's kind of a weird one. But for any, say, military green that is not the olive drab green, I like using the NATO green, you know, as opposed to, say, using a dark green, which I have here, which is XF89, right, which is the new dark green for German vehicles. Okay, I did get it just to try it out and see what it looks like. I did try it out, and it's very similar to the NATO green. But it's just that little bit darker. The reason I like about the NATO green is because you can start off and put everything light. If you want it darker, just spray an extra little bit on. It kind of darkens itself, and giving it a black wash then will make it darker again, and you know, a lighter wash will make it lighter. So you can, it's a colour you can kind of play around with, and it's a good starter. That's why I like using the NATO green as opposed to any of the other sort of greens, shall we say. Even for Russian green, I'll use that. I'll give it a black wash, and then you can end up then with the with your dark green. It saves, I suppose, in a way. It's kind of a maybe me being a bit of a skinflint, that I'm not going to have, say, 60 different bottles of different green paints. I have just about 5 or 6. I buy 5 or 6 of these at a time, and I got my NATO green, so I've got plenty of it there. I also use NATO brown and NATO black, as you can see, and for some weird reason NATO black always seems to be sold out, so I was lucky the last time I did my order. They had it in stock, so I bought 4 bottles of it. That was there last week or the week before. But it is one of those colours that everybody tends to use lately, and Andy's probably hobby headquarters is probably to blame for that, because I'd say a lot of people are using that technique and using the NATO green for it, because they say it's nice. It is a nice colour in itself. It's a nice colour to use for smoke effects. You know, anything that says that's got around exhausts and things like that, because it's not too dark as in flat black, but it's kind of a dark greyish charcoaly kind of a colour, and it's a nice colour in itself. Nothing more really I can say about that. That's basically the pre-shading done. So the next step for this now will be to get the NATO green on and do the bit of detail painting. Not very much detail painting on it, I must admit. There's a couple of tools here and there on it. The bow machine gun, and on the turret then we've got the antenna, and there's a searchlight there on that as well, in the centre of the searchlight. I'm using a little double of silver. When everything is weathered and everything is done, then I can stick in the piece of clear in there. And we've got a sort of a little hull machine gun, or the coaxial machine gun here on the turret as well. That's going to be a different colour. And for the colour I use a base colour. I'd use the NATO black again, because it's a nice colour to use. Give it a little bit of a blue wash. Yeah, dark blue paint, a little bit of water or thinners, whatever colour you use, whatever type washes you use, but give it a kind of a little bit of a blue wash, and that'll give it that kind of a blacky blue colour that weapons are, because they're not black, they're not blue, but it's called bluing. It's a protective coating on it, and it comes up with a kind of a blackish bluish tinge type colour. Making no sense whatsoever, am I? But anyway, you all know, you've all seen, well, not everybody's actually seen real weapons, but for those of us that have, we know what it is. It is not exactly, weapons aren't exactly black. Okay. So I'm going to leave this update at that. It's only a short little update. Next step, like I said, is to get the green on and detail painting. Then we'll be on to decals, glass coating and weathering again then, so we'll be nearly finished. Thanks for somebody gave me the tip there, I can't remember his name because I literally just thought of it now, on sorting out my oil paints. I got to clean them off this, and for future reference, put my oil paints onto a piece of cardboard, leave it for about 45 minutes before I'd actually go use them, and that'll sort of leak off some of the oils that are there, because that's what the problem is really. It's just that they're a bit too oily, and you know, even still now, there we are, nearly a week and barely touch off it, and I'm getting kind of covered in oil paints. So I'm going to have to try and clean them off. If I'm not successful in cleaning them off, or not getting it off properly, I just won't bother. I'll just sort of skip the stowage section. I would like to go ahead with it. excuse me, well, get it painted anyway and see what it looks like before I decide whether to use it or not. But it would be nice to sort of have that option. So I'll give it a try. I'll try and get it cleaned off. Like I said, if I'm successful, I'm successful, and we'll go ahead and we'll paint it in ordinary acrylics. But if not, I'll have to bin that idea, and for future reference, then don't use straight out of the tube glass oil paints for painting kits. Okay, so that's a handy little tip for you too. Okay, so thank you very much to that chap. Unfortunately, again, like I said, he came in there a little while ago, and it was just a thing, and I thanked him, and you'll see it in the comments in the last one. Okay, his name there is on that. So anyway, lads, I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've not already subscribed, and if you have, thank you very, very much. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the bell so you'll be notified as soon as I upload another video. And also any comments you'd like to make, don't forget to stick them down the bottom, and any questions you'd like to ask me, I will get around to answering them. So with that said, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll catch you in the next one, lads. So in the meantime, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. John signing off. See you next time, lads. Stay safe.